Hey everyone, thanks for being here. It's springtime and the Harley demo trucks are out and about making their weekend stops so that riders can check out the various 2024 Harley models. We're continuing on with our bike comparison videos from my test rides, a series I'm now calling the 2024 Versus series. You can view the full series here. I also invite you to subscribe and hit that like and notification buttons. If you like the video, I'd really appreciate that. For those of you who have been following the series, you might want to use the chapter links below to skip to the review. The next couple of minutes of intro are going to sound a little familiar. For those who haven't seen any of the comparison videos yet, there's something very important to be aware of if you choose to check out one of these demo weekends. When you're a rider with at least some level of experience, these rides can be a bit challenging depending on the riders in front of you. Some of them can be quite new and are still afraid of the bikes or a little unsure of themselves, which can slow things down. I think one of my pet peeves is people who slow way down on the corners so that they don't have to lean the bike very much. Part of the challenge, I know, is that you're riding different styles of bikes. Some have mid controls, some have forward controls, some have floorboards, some have foot pegs. A couple of them have heel-toe shifters. On some, the clutch engages right away. On others, it's almost all the way out before it engages. So it really can be challenging to go from bike to bike. Each one has a different feel to it. But still, if you're not going to lean your bike going around a corner, in my opinion, go ride a trike. Let's talk about the bikes that are available to ride this year on the demo weekends. We have the Nystrom Special, the Sportster S, the Pan America Special, and the CVO Pan America. The Street Bob, the Fat Boy, the Lowrider S and Lowrider ST, the Breakout, the Heritage Classic, Road King Special, Street Glide, Road Glide, CVO Street Glide, CVO Road Glide ST, Road Glide Limited, Ultra Limited, and the Road Glide 3 trike. Here in PA, if you ride a trike, you have to have a special license for that. So that one was actually set aside in case anyone came in who wanted to do that. The bikes that are not in the lineup are the Nystrom Standard, Softail Standard, CVO Road Glide, since they have the CVO Road Glide ST in there, the Freewheeler and Tri-Glide Ultra trikes, and of course the Hydra Glide, which is this year's icon bike. The only two bikes I did not ride were the Pan America Special and the CVO Pan America because Short Legs McShorty Pants here with his 29-inch inseam did not feel like dealing with the 31-inch seat height on those bikes. I know the seat height's lower when you're coming to a stop and when you're at a stop, and then they kick back up when you're riding. I know all that, but even at their lowest, I think the lowest is 30.5 inches, and I would rather get some more experience riding bikes with a taller seat height before I go to ride one of those in particular. I have no idea when that's going to happen. In today's Versus video, we're putting the 2024 Heritage Classic against the 2024 Road King Special. There are a lot of differences between these two bikes. In fact, there's not a whole lot of similarities, but they do sit next to each other in Harley's lineup. The Heritage Classic sits at the top of the Softail Cruiser lineup, and the Road King Special sits at the bottom of the Touring lineup. A brief review of the specs. Both have the 114 engine, but the Heritage Classic gets 119 foot-pounds of torque and 94 horsepower, while the Road King Special gets 122 foot-pounds of torque and 95 horsepower. The bore, stroke, and compression ratio on the engines is the same. The only difference I see on this is the exhaust, so I'm wondering if that's what makes a difference. The Heritage Classic has the 2-to-2 exhaust pipes that all the Softail standards have on the right side. The Road King Special has the 2-into-1-into-2 exhaust pipes that all of the touring bikes have. I am guessing there's something with the exhaust that is giving that extra little bit of airflow, which is giving it a little bit more torque and horsepower. The Heritage Classic has a 5-gallon tank and weighs about 730 pounds. The Road King Special has a 6-gallon tank and weighs 80 pounds more, about 810. The Softail frame on the Heritage Classic is lighter than the touring frame, and Softails are definitely known to being very comfortable bikes when it comes to things like road bumps and stuff like that. Another difference on these two bikes, the Road King Special has the typical 32-degree lean angle on the right and 31 on the left. The Heritage only has 27.3 degrees on the right and 28.5 on the left. The ground clearance on the Heritage is 4.7. The ground clearance on the Road King Special is 4.9, so there's about a 1/4 inch difference there. This means that the Heritage Classic will scrape pegs a lot easier than the Road King Special. I definitely can vouch for that. I had a Heritage Classic last year after my Chieftain was totaled. That was the bike I picked up, and I ended up regretting that decision. That bike scraped pegs really easily. That was one of the reasons I ended up going to a Street Glide, was because of the lean angle and how easy it was to scrape the pegs. That, and I really wanted a fairing. Anyway, let's talk about the rides. The Road King Special doesn't come with a windshield from the factory. They put one on for the test rides. The Heritage Classic does come with the windshield from the factory. One of the things I really don't like about either of these bikes is the gauge cluster being on the tank instead of on the handlebars, where it's easier to see. I have to keep looking down to see how fast I'm going, remind myself what gear I'm in. It's an OCD thing. I'm constantly looking at my speed and gear indicator. That's the other reason I traded in the Heritage Classic, not only the lean angle issue and wanting a fairing, but because I wanted to be able to look straight out in front of me at speed and gears and all that jazz. All right, the Heritage is a fantastic bike if you're looking for a mid-weight, entry-level touring bike. Something easy to ride, no frills, no need to worry about the extra weight and handling of a fairing, no big saddlebags in the back. It doesn't have the same level of storage because of that. For what it is a really good bike. Definitely a little bit more affordable. It's $3,500 less than the street and road glides, so if you need something a little bit more affordable, it is a good option for that. The Road King Special has a touring frame and larger saddlebags, but it only weighs about 10 pounds less than the Street Glide, and it doesn't come with the front fairing. From the factory, it doesn't have any windshield at all. The Road King Special MSRP is only $1,000 less than the Street Glide and Road Glide Standard. Now with the Street Glide and Road Glide Standard, you go from the 114 to the 117 engine. You have the fairing, you have wind protection, you have radio, you have Bluetooth. The only rider safety enhancement feature that is on the Road King Special is ABS and linked braking. The Road Glide and Street Glide Standard have all of the rider safety enhancements, the traction controls, all that stuff. So if you're buying new for $1,000 more, when you're talking going from $25,000 to $26,000, you get all of those extra features of the Road Glide and Street Glide Standard. To me, it makes the Road King Special seem incredibly overpriced. My personal feelings on the rides: the Heritage is a humdrum, nothing special, kind of boring bike. That's coming from me as a Street Glide guy. It's still a good bike, it's just not for me. The Road King isn't much better than the Heritage in that sense. It's nothing too special, nothing that stands out and says, pick me. I was honestly surprised at how popular the Road King Special is in the test rides. Seems like that bike went out pretty much on every ride. It weighs pretty much the same as a Street Glide and has a whole lot less features on it. And I know the Road Kings have been really popular throughout the years, and I would love some feedback. Leave a comment below as to why they're so popular. Is it because of not having the front fairing that makes them easier to handle or something? Is there something different about the way they used to be versus the way they are now? I know the Road King Standard, that is not available right now, has the windshield on it, but still, did they used to be priced significantly different than the Street Glide and Road Glide? I don't know. Somebody leave a comment, let me know what the big deal is about the Road King, because I look at it now and say this thing isn't worth it. So that's it for the Heritage and the Road King Special. Two good bikes for what they are, but nothing super special, nothing that really stands out. Thanks for watching, everyone. As always, please subscribe and like. We'll see you on the next one. God bless.